Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
What we're gonna do is Rev put out a video about the Supergirl movie, where, basically about how all of the shills that were standing for Supergirl, the Supergirl movie that was coming out, that how they were all like carrying water for it and basically simping hard for Supergirl and Millie Alcock, and just said like, oh, you don't understand, and oh, this is gonna be great, and so on and so forth. And now all of a sudden they're backpedaling and eating shit like crazy. And one of those people is Angry Joe. Angry Joe was in the thumbnail of this. So I can't wait to see this, because Angry Joe was simping fucking hard, especially on Twitter. Angry Joe was simping seriously fucking hard for Supergirl. Like, he was going on like multi-paragraphical tangents to carry water for Supergirl. And now, even in his own review, I think he had to admit he was wrong. So let's take a look at this, because it's not just about Angry Joe, but let's take a look at this. I had no intentions of seeing this movie. I thought it looked terrible. It looked like a solo version of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was James Gunn, so all James Gunn can do is Guardians of the Galaxy. That is literally the only thing James Gunn can do. And this was absolutely just another Guardian of the Galaxy, just a solo Guardians of the Galaxy, not a team. And yeah, Lobo was the only thing interesting, and from what I heard, Lobo was in it for like 15 minutes and then fucks off. It's like, it's not good. It's not good. So let's take a look at this.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Supergirl movie and the absolutely horrendous reception and box office predictions it's currently receiving. Now, that's not too surprising. If you have functioning eyeballs, you have seen this flop coming for quite...
By the way, can I just point out right at the beginning, we don't have but they took off the audience score and turned it into the popcorn meter. That's Rotten Tomatoes for you. But even on an aggregate like Rotten Tomatoes, which like absolutely stands for Hollywood with everything, look at the reviews for Supergirl from the like paid shills. The paid shills themselves are only giving it a 59%. That sucks. For a big DC movie that everybody was like saying, this is going to be better than Superman, this fucking sucks.
Some time now. However, over the past couple of months, the shills and sycophants have been propping up this movie, ensuring its success, and telling all of those who don't believe that they're misogynists, that they're losers, all of these things. Well,
was Gunn's Superman even good? I've heard mixed reviews on it. I think the overall average for James Gunn's Superman was, effectively speaking, meh. That's like an average of what I've heard from people that have talked about Superman, is it was meh. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was just fine. Yeah, it didn't even make its money back, and that's what happens when you, like, dump a fuck ton of money into what you're expecting to be a blockbuster, and it functions and it performs mediocre at best, and it doesn't make its money back. Like the DC movies that have come out lately have just been hemorrhaging money. I cannot think of a DC movie that has come out recently that has actually been successful. I'm pretty sure all of their movies and series and shows in recent years have like all been flops. They have not been, like very few of them have even made their money back.
Well, when rubber meets the road, this movie looks atrocious. It's not just the lackluster nature of the film, it's also the horrendous PR provided by the lead actress Millie Alcock, and you can see it reflected in the critic reviews, receiving a...
By the way, I don't know if he's going to say, part of this is Millie Alcock, when she was doing interviews, said to the obvious DEI reporter that Supergirl is a queer icon. She said, absolutely, Supergirl is a queer icon. Absolutely, she would swing that way. Yeah. Yeah. Millie Alcock during like the pressers and the junkets did not help this. She literally Zeglered it. Millie Alcock Zeglered this fucking movie. Amongst other things.
59% on Rotten Tomatoes. The normally sure bet of critics when it comes to a female lead in a movie wasn't even enough to save Supergirl getting absolutely thrashed by critics, or even as going as far as to call
I'm pretty
this
sure in
film
the comics she was very
horrendous. Now, this is so bad that the box office forecast for Supergirl has dropped. A now predicted $50 million opening weekend is what they're facing, a number that used to be closer to $100 million, which would have already...
I'm pretty sure that they were projecting 80. If I'm remembering correctly, their forecast predictions, they were hoping to reach 80 million in their opening weekend.
Been a disappointment, but in true coping fashion, the shills continue on, including filmmakers like Joe Russo, who's apologizing on behalf of men for apparently ruining this film. Even people like Angry Joe are coming out of the woodwork to defend this film, a guy who once mocked any backlash towards this film as the product of angry men. Well, now he's begging his viewers to go out and buy tickets to this movie in what I can only imagine is some elaborate humiliation ritual. And right now, the coping extends to Warner Bros., who's considering any amount above $300 million a victory for Supergirl and DC Studios.
300 million is not even going to break even, I don't think. I'm reasonably sure to just break even, this movie probably needs to make upwards of 600 to 800 million. Because I want to say the budget was, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe the budget was 250. I think, could be higher. So 250 on the budget. And then you have to double that. What, the budget was 170? Really? That was it? 170? Really? Okay, 170 from, I thought it was more, I thought it was higher than that. Okay, so the 175 million. And that's what I was about to say, you have to double it for the marketing. So you're looking at about 350 million dollars for budget and marketing. And actually, given the marketing that they did for this, the marketing's probably higher.
Brothers. Who knows what else will happen? I just hope
God only knows.
Dixie Pop makes her movie, they won't mess it up.
No, we don't know about that. But yeah, the marketing on this, they upped the marketing on this probably above and beyond the standard double. I would say that their marketing was probably in the $200 to $250 million range. Normally it's double. Normally marketing is double for movies. With this one, especially with the cups that look like, especially the Supergirl cups that basically look like a certain adult toy, I'd say the marketing budget was probably, I want to say 200 to 250. So this movie needs to make like 400 or 500 million just to break even. Honestly, it literally does probably need that much just to break even. And the fact that they're calling 300 million a victory means that they are considering a loss of victory. That's the state of DC Studios, where they are considering a $100 to $200 million loss of victory.
Now, knowing the massive budget of this film, even 300 million would be a massive flop, if they can even get to that number. And by the way, that 300 million used to be 500 million only a couple of weeks ago. Now, a lot of this film and its potential flop status can be accredited to the lead actress, Millie Alcock, who has been donned a punk rock superhero by journalists for months now.
And by the way, that's not Kara. They took like one plot line from the Supergirl series where she was depressed about losing her homeland and was going off the planets with red suns so she could get drunk. Like they took one plot thread line in the comics and turned that into the movie. Kara has always been upbeat, bright, vivacious, happy, cheerful, a symbol of hope, like her cousin. And instead they wanted to turn her into an edge queen because it's James Gunn. James Gunn is not an original writer. James Gunn does not know how to do anything original. He basically did Guardians of the Galaxy, and literally everything since has been Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes, Superman was her cousin. Like, literally everything after Guardians of the Galaxy for James Gunn was just another version of Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's what Supergirl was. Supergirl was another version of Guardians of the Galaxy. She was not beautiful. She was not like that beautiful, intrinsically feminine, kind, generous, loving woman that everybody knows her from in the comics. For fuck's sake, I don't know if Rev is going to mention this. She only wears the costume for like 5 or 10 minutes. The majority of her time in the movie, the majority of her screen time in the movie, she's not wearing the costume. She's in like street clothes for the majority of the movie. It's like they once again, modern Hollywood fucks everything up. Yes, Gunn is a one-trick pony. He cannot do anything else. And I've heard rumors that he may be out at DC. I've heard a rumor. I don't know how substantive this is, but James Gunn may be done at DC after this. She was wearing her Star-Lord costume. Yeah, basically, she was wearing the Star-Lord costume, only she wore a trench coat instead of a short coat.
And she has dismissed a lot of the criticism as the product of trolls, among other people. And you can see some of her statements really giving you those She-Hulk vibes, basically saying men are very threatened by a woman who's comfortable and has ownership of their bodies. And also went even further, specifically identifying trolls as Christian dads and saying it's okay to piss off those people because
that's your customer base. That is literally your customer base. The super family, like this part, as I understand it, I never saw the movie, but as I understand it, this part they got right. That Superman they didn't make him dark. Like in the Superman movie, they made him upbeat, they made him friendly, they made him a symbol of goodness. From what I understand, they got that part about him right in James Gunn's Superman movie. They didn't make him dark, they didn't make him edgy, they didn't make him gritty. They made him the upbeat superhero that he is. That's who Supergirl is too. The super family is all about being symbols of goodness, symbols of kindness, symbols of generosity. That is what the super family is supposed to be. And literally, Millie Alcock is saying, yeah, fuck that. We want to be edgy. We need to be edgelords because that's the in thing right now, right? We got to be you want the edgelord. You don't want the symbol of goodness, right?
It's the right people to anger. On top of that, she has shown a lot of ignorance for everything going on here. When asked what her favorite comic book film was, she said The Incredibles, while also admitting she's never seen Marvel's Black Widow, Captain Marvel, or even DC's Wonder Woman, which, credit.
I mean, it's not like she would have gotten anything out of this. I mean, people the first Wonder Woman was fine. I consider the first Wonder Woman, words are hard. The first Wonder Woman movie, I feel was overhyped. It was fine, don't get me wrong. There was nothing wrong with the first Wonder Woman movie. It was fine. I do think it was overhyped. I think it was absolutely overhyped because it was DC's first female-centric superhero movie. And so, just like with the Black Panther, it's like it basically fell into the same category as the Black Panther movie, whereas the Black Panther movie was Marvel's first Black-centric superhero movie, and so it was praised to high fucking heaven as being the greatest thing since sliced bread. I will be real with you, both Black Panther and Wonder Woman were basically just fine. There was nothing wrong with them. They don't count Blade. They don't count Blade. They should, but they don't. Black Panther to these people is the first Black superhero movie. And both Black Panther and Wonder Woman, the first one, were fine. There was nothing intrinsically wrong with them. Black Panther was not as entertaining. God help me with that CGI during the final battle, but that's a whole different thing. But they were not like these standout amazing movies like everybody likes to pretend they are. And then Wonder Woman 84 was just a fucking travesty and should never have been made in the first place. So Millie Alcock's not like losing out on not seeing Black Widow, Captain Marvel, or Wonder Woman, because honestly, Wonder Woman be the only one where like, yeah, that'd probably be a good idea, especially because it's a DC character. Black Widow, Captain Marvel, not good movies. It's not a big issue that she did see them, but like she could have seen like other superhero movies. I mean, you're playing a role of a superhero. Maybe it might be a good idea to see other movies from the franchise that you are going to be participating in. Oh, don't bring up the Spawn movie. No, don't bring that up. Don't bring up that travesty. That was an insult to the character.
To her, she dodged some serious bullets there, but it just shows that she can't give the right answer. In fact,
like, what about animated movies? There are, like, one thing DC is good at. One thing that DC Studios is good at is animated films. Their animation department is great. They do they do an excellent job, far better than Marvel. And honestly, I think that DC should give up the live action bullshit and go strictly animated for all of their films. Because their animation studio is top tier. It is fucking fantastic. So she could have watched any number of the animated films. That could have helped.
It's there, but it just shows that she can't give the right answer. In fact, recently she was asked questions about embracing queer readings of Supergirl, and she really just kind of accepted all this, embraced it, and said that Supergirl is the perfect depiction of a modern woman. Well,
and a queer icon. I'm not going to let that go. That Millie Alcock said, oh, absolutely, Supergirl's a queer icon. She absolutely swings that way. Fuck you, Millie Alcock. Enough of these fucking Hollywood elitists thinking that they're so much better than the franchise that they are pretending in. You are a court jester. Dance, bitch, dance. That is your only job. Know your fucking role and shut your fucking mouth.
Here's your modern results. A 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, from the critics who normally shill for this kind of stuff. I cannot wait for the viewer reviews to come in. They're going to be abysmal. But don't worry, the usual suspects on Twitter are coping extremely hard with this film, saying Supergirl Nation rise up, with an AI-edited version of the Rotten Tomatoes
that is
page,
edited to shit,
upping the critics rating to 97% and showing a user rating of 95%. Now, if I was a betting man, I would feel very confident saying it won't even get half of that. But that is the cope we're seeing from so many right now. But not even Variety is backing up this film. Not even the super shills at Variety, who have released puff piece after puff piece about this film and Millie Alcock for months now. They described this movie as super horrendous. You know you are down cataclysmic as a film if you can impress Variety.
Well, and that's because these former show publications and journalists realized. I think that the shill journalists are starting to realize that if they lie and carry water and try to pretend like all these DEI projects are oh so great, and then they crash and burn at the box office, that their credibility is going to go into the shitter and they won't be able to get work anywhere. I think they're starting to realize maybe we should report honestly. I think that's what this is. We can't keep pretending that these Hollywood box office bombs are so great, and it's the chuds or the trolls or the review bombs that are causing it to fail. They realize we actually have to start being honest when we report on that.
When you have a female lead in a superhero movie. And the replies to their Twitter post sharing the article really sum that up. Even Variety can tell us how bad this was. That's impressive. Good to see they didn't run cover for this mess. Not even the regarded journos from Variety like this stuff. Wow.
And it's not all of them. Don't think I'm making a blanket statement about all these shilk journalists. It writ large. There are still plenty of them out there that will try to pretend like, oh, this is so great. It's look at all these great things, and then even in their glowing review, they'll still like backhand it with like, well, but this was a problem, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look at the jingling keys. Look. It's actually really good, even though it's got this problem. Don't look. It's like there's still plenty out there that are going to try and chill for it, but I think more and more of these entertainment journalists are reading the writing on the wall, and that if they lie and carry water for these studios, that they're not going to be long for a job, and another publication is probably not going to pick them up if all they're doing is going to shill for something and completely tank their reputations. It's a slow turnaround, but I think they're starting to become a turnaround because they'll shill as long as studios pay them, and I think the studios aren't paying them anymore. I think the studios are losing so much fucking money on all of these bomb after bomb after bomb. They're losing so much money that they're not like paying these shills anymore, or they're not paying them as good anymore. And I think that the shills themselves are seeing the writing on the wall and realizing I better try and preserve my reputation as a journalist while I still can. And that's why they're not writing. That's why you're not seeing as many of these glowing reviews as we did like 3-4 years ago.
Wow, you know it's bad when Variety even says how horrible it is. This is why I think James Gunn is not the right director for the DC universe.
And I think
But
he's
don't
gone.
worry, people are still mad at
gone.
Variety. The modern audience saw Variety step out of line and not drink the Kool-Aid as they usually do. And they say this.
Yeah.
I'm not being dismissive of these reviews, but I'm noticing how every single female lead comic book movie is ripped to shreds. Meanwhile, the male-led films get a lot less traction. You can
So that was a fucking lie.
The male-led films have been getting absolutely fucking eviscerated as of late. This hack is deliberately ignoring the fact of all of these movies that have been coming out lately that have male leads have been getting shredded into fucking pieces lately. Because people don't care if it's a male or a female lead. Like this guy, he's absolutely like standing for like, oh, Millie, you're so beautiful. Maybe if I carry water for you, you'll slide into my DMs and say, hey, big boy, do you want to come fuck me? That's the mindset of someone like this. Or maybe he's gonna get, maybe a publication will reach out to him and go, hey kid, you want to come write for us?
see again this sort of shift in blame to men. It's somehow all about gender. That's the only reason why people are upset with Supergirl, and also trying to say that there's no male-led films that get criticism. Let me
I remember that too. Remember how people treated James Gunn like he was the savior of the DCEU? Yep. I remember that too. When he came over to DC, all of the James Gunn stans, because they loved him for Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm gonna be real here. First Guardian of the Galaxy was fine. It was a fun, fun movie. The second two Guardians of the Galaxy was literally a rinse and repeat, and I'm sorry, they weren't that great. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 weren't that great. They really weren't. It was literally a rinse and repeat of the first one. You have a ragtag team of scrappy heroes. They fight with each other and basically like separate. You split the team up because they had a fight. So now you have two different storylines happening, and then at the end, they come together and be a team. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, okay, we're going to get rid of Rocket. We're going to take him out of the fucking movie for the whole goddamn time. Best character of the movie, okay, we're going to remove him from the movie for the whole fucking time. You're going to have the ragtag team that has this division amongst one another. They're going to be fighting with one another. Oh no, are they going to be able to work together? And then the highlight of the climax of the movie. Oh my God, they've all come together and they're all fighting together. And then they conclude the movie where Guardians of the Galaxy breaks up. Like, 2 and 3 were not good. They were not. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was good because it was quasi-original in the MCU. 2 and 3, not good. Especially 3. 3 was not good at all. And then when he left Marvel and went to DC, everybody was saying he's just going to do Guardians of the Galaxy again. That's what everybody was saying. Everybody was saying, okay, when he goes to DC, he's literally just going to do Guardians of the Galaxy over and over and over again. And guess what? He did okay with Superman, but look at Supergirl. It's fucking Guardians of the Galaxy again. Like, he is a literal one-trick pony, and honestly, he might be gone from DC after this. This is going to be such a flop that they may actually boot him from the DC.
This person to
Morbius. And can Henry Cavill
okay,
right away.
Ladies and gentlemen. But one person who is very conflicted about this film is Angry Joe, who on the one hand is criticizing this film, but on the other hand, just weeks ago, saying that it's men's faults for hating on it. It's the chuds who are doing this, and they're triggered by a female lead, and that's the only reason why people are mad about this film. And then Angry
Joe has like no credibility left. I have not watched his reviews. I used to watch Angry Joe frequently. I used to love his video game reviews, and I even loved his his TV and movie reviews. And I haven't watched anything he's done for a while because I'm sorry, he's drank the fucking Kool-Aid like crazy. Did he shill for Green Lantern? Yeah, see, there you go. He was shilling for Green Lantern. I never even saw that. It's just he's lost so much credibility in the geek space. He really has. He went down the quartering route. Yeah, maybe. That could be a fair assessment. It's just nobody cares about him anymore. Nobody gives his opinion any weight. They all know that he shills like fucking crazy. And he's been wrong about so much these days.
That's the only reason why people are mad about this film. And then, in truly confusing fashion, in one of his videos, he starts to literally beg his viewers to go out and see this movie. Like I said, this has to be some elaborate humiliation ritual or some sort of a payday for this guy, because I can't even imagine doing this. What are we doing? Just pure embarrassment. Now, one of the people to dunk on Angry Joe here is Nerdrotic. He would release this video, and part of it is mocking Angry Joe and his damage control for this movie and the levels of cope and really just also hypocrisy of how he's trying to play almost both sides with his review. But
Literally, this guy attacked Star Wars girl Anna, calling her gay or something. You talk about Angry Joe went after that Star Wars girl? Wait, yeah, I can't say I'm too surprised. I can't say I'm too like he's burned. So I think he's burned a lot of fucking bridges in the content creation space. It's just Again, nobody gives a shit what he thinks. Nope, nobody cares. They know that all of his reviews are going to be geared towards like buffing up the studios. Like, I think he was critical about the new Star Wars, not Star Wars. I do think he was very he was very critical of the Star Trek TV show. So, like, he at least got that right. But, like, stuff like this is just, you know, you can maybe ascribe it to, like, Angry Joe is a huge Superman fan. Like, his favorite superhero is Superman, and Supergirl is part of the Super family. So you could maybe ascribe some of his chilling to the fact that he loves the Super family more than any other character in DC or in comics in general. But he 100% chilled for it. He 100% just chilled the hell out of it for whatever reason it might be. I don't know. And yeah, critical, like, people like Nerdrotic, Disparu, as Critical Drinker, like, those are my go-tos when it comes to, is a movie good? Is a movie decent? Is a movie shit? They are my go-tos these days.
As you can see, most people really enjoyed what Nerdrotic had to say, but you know who didn't enjoy what he said? Angry Joe. Saying, LOL, my tweet triggered Nerdrotic so much he had to make a video too. Yet not once does he address my main point. Instead, he strawmans that Hollywood is bad, low-hanging fruit. And I'm just defending DC and Supergirl. Brother, what?
You did.
Stop lying about me to your audience, Gary. How about you speak to me directly instead of taking cheap shots on your daily political news channel?
Dude. Even when he's trying to act like a tough guy, he's getting shit wrong. Nerdrotic isn't a political channel. Nerdrotic is literally a pop culture channel. That is all Nerdrotic does. He does pop culture. He does comics. He does he doesn't even do video games. He does comic books. He does movies. He does TV. That is what Nerdrotic does. He is strictly pop culture. He is not political. Do politics come into play in some degree in it? Sure. As I've said before, in this day and age, politics is, its slimy tentacles get into literally everything. You cannot talk about anything without politics injecting itself into it in some way. But he is not a political channel. Yeah, it's when the material he's covering goes political that that politics comes up. If the subject in question in pop culture makes itself political, then yes, he's going to reference politics when he's talking about it. That's the name of the game. It's not like you can talk about something that makes itself overtly political and not bring up the politics behind it. Sorry, you can't do that in a review setting. It doesn't work that way. But but to characterize his show as being a quote daily political news channel, you just fucked your whole argument right there, Joe. You literally just tanked your entire legitimacy of anything in your argument by calling it a daily political news channel when it is overtly not that. But this is Joe desperate to try and score some brownie points or something. And it's not going to work. It's not. Because look what his next tweet, what his next line is. Which, motherfucker, the last person Joe wants to get the attention of is Drinker. Because Drinker has no problem. Drinker and Gary, neither of them have any problem bitch slapping you back into your oversized gaming chair. Because yes, Joe has gotten quite tubby over the last several years. Joe has filled out, indeed. He's like his cheeks are about twice the width of what they were about like 5 or 7 years ago. He is definitely he needs to hit the gym a little bit. But Drinker and Gary will have no problem just basically bitch slapping this kid. And I say kid, he's not a kid. He's an adult. He's probably in his 30s, but you know what I mean. They'll roast the hell out of him, and they'll farm it for content, and they'll probably get double the viewership for them just roasting Angry Joe than Joe will get on any of his videos. So going after Gary and Drinker, because now you're going to get Gary, you're going to get Drinker, you're going to get Az, you're going to get Moeller, you're going to get Disparu. Like, you have literally awakened you have awakened the pop culture Avengers, my guy. Not a great plan.
Oh, cause it'll ruin your narrative. All I need now is Critical Drinker
Is
to
he
make
42?
a video here
Okay.
too. Here's my tweet that hurt y'all's friends' feelings so much on Supergirl. You can pick it apart for 40 minutes, or you can just call me up. Keep it going, guys. And the comments section not going the way Joe expected. You can see Jeremy here saying, "Dude, I didn't know you were such a big fan of Gary. Congrats on the
Teenage
shout out.
Cobra coming
It's
in."
always nice when big YouTubers like Gary give shout outs to smaller creators, giving them a chance to get noticed." And Joe replies saying, "Jeremy, shut up. LOL. We don't all
Oh yeah, Asmongold's gonna cover Asmongold. I don't think he's gonna cover it too much. Asmongold will cover it, like maybe he might listen to Rev or he might listen to some other review talking about Supergirl. He might, like, pop culture like this is not so much in Asmongold's wheelhouse. He's more along the lines of games and, of course, current events and stuff like that. He might talk about it a little bit, and he'll probably call it like stupid. He'll probably call it stupid too. I don't know if he's gonna go at Joe about it. This may sound crazy, but Angry Joe, I think, is beneath Asmongold's notice. I really do. Like, to seriously pay attention to Angry Joe's content post 2013 up until recently. He's been completely incapable of getting angry. I seriously believe that he went on an SSRI like Xanax in order to control himself so he can get preferred press access. He has like the reviews, and up until I stopped watching him, yeah, his reviews had been very non-angry. Like, his angry moments have been very manufactured. You're right. I have noticed that. He's like, for being Angry Joe, he has not been angry. And maybe if he's been on an SSRI, that would explain why he's blimped out. Because SSRIs do that. They do, they have been known to cause significant weight gain. That's why a lot of people that are on them will go off of them against doctor's advice, because they hate how it basically makes them, makes them fat. So it's entirely possible that that may be the case. Because, yeah, his only angry stuff has been reserved for Matt. And even then, his angry has not been anywhere near the level it used to be. You could just say that's age slowing him down, where he's getting older, and so now he's not getting as angry about stuff anymore. But considering it's his brand, it's a lot of the anger has become very manufactured.
as hard as you do for your daddy Gary. And yeah, we really moving up in the world of anti-woke, woman-hating, triggered as hell chuds. Sky is the limit." And then he got absolutely ratioed into the shadow realm with literally this meme.
Yes!
Amazing. Yeah, guys, he's not mad at all.
Because the funniest thing is, when you talk about anti-woke, women-hating, triggered, these guys constantly talk about great female characters. They will actually reference fantastic female characters, both in previous movies and current film. Like, if there's a film with a really great female character, they will say, "This is fucking great. This character was awesome." Like, they will do that. If the character is shit, if the character is absolutely woke, DEISJR garbage, yeah, they're gonna call it out. Sucks to suck. Go cry about it, you little bitch. Too bad.
He's totally thriving right now, having a great time. And speaking of Critical Drinker, he did release a video. It just came out like this hour as of recording. But he quoted Joe saying, "Joe having another normal one. I see." And Joe says, "Thanks for the views, Drinker. Check out our review." No, I don't think we will.
But, by the way, hang on. Okay. Thanks for the views. Wait for it. Hang on. Give me a sec. Okay. Does he go down?
Feelings so much on Supergirl. Keep it, Joe. Expect.
Okay. I was going to say, Drinker's little singular tweet here probably has more views than Joe's original one. I'm going to hazard a guess it probably has 1.5 times the views that Joe's original does.
But he quoted Joe saying, "Joe having another normal one. I see." And Joe says, "Thanks for the views, drinker. Check out our review." No, I don't think we will. But of course, Angry Joe would come out with another follow-up to Supergirl titled Supergirl. It's a flawed
Now
mess.
he's backpedaling.
Wait a second. I thought you were just like an angry chud if you dislike this film. That doesn't really make any sense. But people are shredding this apart. In case you don't have 31 minutes to devote to this slop fiesta over here, you can read the comments. His pinned comment is saying, "To all of Nerdrotic's fandom,
for
menace
God's sake.
brigading here." Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Insane
Thank you.
cope. Imagine making a pinned comment whining about someone else in your video. Like the amount of just completely rent-free is astounding. But you can see the top comments. In quotes, "It's not a bad film." End quote. Proceeds to explain how bad it is. I know, very chudly behavior of Joe. Joe's tweets.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like Joe, that's what I was saying earlier. Like Joe is a huge Superman fan. Superman is, he said this before, Superman is his favorite superhero of all time. And the fact that DC has released not one, but two either underperforming or flat out bombs in the super family, I think this did break him. I think he may be right about that. Because, like, it, you know, he was so desperate for these films to be good because he liked the Henry Cavill films. And again, you can say what you want about Man of Steel. Man of Steel, in and of itself, also was only a meh kind of film. It was fine, I suppose, but it wasn't great. Like, Cavill as Superman was fantastic. Like, that was the role that Henry Cavill was born to play, and DC fucked him out of it. And fans still have not forgiven DC for this. And I think that with the James Gunn Superman film and now the Supergirl film, like Joe was desperate for them to be fantastic. That he was desperate for them to be amazing and like rewriting the history of Superman in cinema. And they both like did either mid or shit. And I do think that it like this is like it broke him. I do think it absolutely broke him. I think that's probably part of why he was desperately shilling online, is because he needed it for his own psychology. He needed these films to be good to maintain his fandom, because this is his main fandom. And the fact that they were both shit is just it did, like, you know, his favorite superheroes, it did break him. I do think it did break him. And thank you for the tier 1, War Child. Thank you very much. And yes, the Calvarine cameo in Deadpool was amazing. I love the Calvarine. Complete with the reloading of the biceps before he punches Deadpool with his claws out.
Aged like milk. Yes, they did. We all know this isn't your final rating, Joe. You ain't fooling us again. We know after your 5th watching, your rating will go up. Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. But he was not the only person shilling and making a fool out of themselves defending this movie. You have Joe Russo here, who's a filmmaker, and he decided to go full male feminist mode, saying this: "On behalf of all men, I'd like to apologize to Millie Alcock."
Let me just get this out of the way. Joe, Millie Alcock is not sliding into your DMs and saying, "Oh, thank you so much for doing this, Joe. Please, won't you come to my flat in London and fuck me raw?" It ain't happening.
Alcock, for my gender being the absolute worst to her. Sounds like you're super in this movie, girl. Can't wait. Yeah, I'm sorry, fellas. This guy really thinks he speaks on your behalf, but here's the comment saying, "I hope she sees this, bro." Yeah. Hey, man, leave her alone. I don't recall giving you authority to speak for all men. Never mind the fact that I haven't said anything about Millie Alcock.
Ember, take his man card. No, I have a better idea. But take his balls. He's clearly not using them. I want them in my purse.
Alcock myself. She doesn't need my help for her movie to bomb. She and the creative team are doing a perfectly good job of ensuring that on their own. And this guy says, with 8,000 likes, she's not gonna F you, dude. And Joe says, all good. I can get my hot blonde wife to dress up as Supergirl if I want that. That seems a bit demeaning to your wife. Also very ironic as this guy's trying to play the male feminist role over here and then tries to objectify his wife on social media for validation to show how good of a guy he is and how much he's a good person to women, how much he supports women. Insane.
Does this man have a hot wife? I wonder. What do you think?
I mean, this guy is really full of himself. The average Reddit moderator right here.
Hang on. I need to research. Okay, Joe, hang on. I need to research this. One moment. Give me a second. I don't know. Okay. Oh, dear God. Is this the same one? Is this the same one? I don't know. I don't know if this is the same person. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know if that. You know what? I'm not going to bother trying to find him. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. He's already like the fact that he would the fact that he was simping so fucking hard for Millie Alcock means that he does not have a hot blonde wife. Okay? It's point blank. That you don't simp that hard for Millie Alcock on Twitter when you have a hot blonde wife like that.
He is and how much he's a good person to women, how much he supports women. Insane. I mean, this guy is really full of himself. The average Reddit moderator right here. But he's not done. Someone adds on saying, was it really necessary for her to babble on about Supergirl swinging both ways? Why are these Hollywood weirdos so obsessed with this stuff? Just stay away from the culture war issues and their movies would do a lot better. And Joe said,
that's why I said she pulled the Ziegler. And she not just saying that Supergirl would swing both ways, but even in her preceding interviews, she did a Ziegler and was partly responsible for taking the film. The film did fail all on its own, but she did it no fucking favors whatsoever. And this is like, yeah, they do need to stay away from the culture war. Again, I've said this before. Hollywood, you need to fucking listen to me. Okay? I'm spitting facts here, and Hollywood, you need to fucking listen to me. You need to muzzle your goddamn actors. When your actors go on to press tours, you need to tell them that the only thing that they should be saying is, we had a lot of fun making this movie. We think it's going to be great. We hope that you all enjoy it, and that's it. That's literal. The only thing they should be saying is they enjoyed making the movie. They enjoyed working with the actors. They enjoyed working with the director. They had a great team. They think they put together a really fun movie that everybody will enjoy and that they hope everyone does enjoy it. And that's it. That is the only fucking thing that these actors need to be saying in these pressers. Hollywood, you need to put a fucking muzzle and a shock collar on your talent and shut them the fuck up, because 9 times out of 10 these days, they are the ones that are tanking your fucking movies before it even hits the screen, and then your dog shit work finishes the fucking job. Because here's the problem, or here's the thing. Even if a movie isn't great, it can still kind of be saved if people go into it with an open mind of, okay, this could be fun. If they go in with an open mind of like, yeah, I just want to be fun, I just want to have fun, I want to be entertained in some way for an hour and a half or 2 hours, however long the movie is, and I just want to turn my brain off and enjoy something for 50 fucking dollars, because that's about what it costs to go see a movie these days. I'm already spending 50 fucking dollars to see this movie, and I want to just simply be entertained. I don't need to be blown away. I don't need to be hit with a box office bombshell. I don't need it. I don't need to come walking away going, this is the greatest movie ever. I just want to be fucking entertained for an hour and a half or 2 hours, because the world is shitty right now, and I want just an hour and a half or 2 hours to just relax and enjoy myself and forget about all the problems that are waiting for me outside of the theater. And even if the movie is not great, even if the movie is mid, if you just market it of, we just want to have fun, we want to make it, and we want this to be entertaining. We're not going to try and shove agenda down your throat. We're not going to be shoving ideology down your throat. We're not going to be shoving politics down your throat. We're just going to, the advertising is, we're putting out a fun movie for you to enjoy. The actors are coming out going, we had a blast making this movie. We had a great team behind us. We hope you enjoy it. And that's it. Even mid-level movies that have been bombing like fucking crazy these days could be saved if you just approach the advertising and the marketing and the press junkets in that way, where you just say, we had fun and we hope you enjoy. And then people will go into a movie with the mindset of, okay, this is just going to be a fun movie, and I'm not going to be and I don't have to have the preachiness of the actors in their myriad of pressers where they're saying, oh yeah, this is all about her being a queer fucking icon, when the average normie is fucking done with the SJR LGBT bullshit that is getting slammed down their throat. And they can go in with an open mind just to relax and have fun. It's literally this fucking simple. You gotta make a decent movie too, but your talent is not doing, your PR team is not doing you any fucking favors. They haven't for fucking years. This is a big chunk of what is killing these movies and what is killing Hollywood. Because they're shoving ideology and they're shoving politics down their paying customers' throats. And their paying customers don't want to deal with it anymore. That's why they're going to YouTube movie creators. Because they're not shoving ideology and agenda and politics down their throat. They're just making fun movies. Because they're not beholden to shareholders. They're beholden to their audience. And it's time Hollywood needs to remember that they are not beholden to their shareholders. Their shareholders are not the ones giving them money. It's the paying fucking customers that are giving them money. And as you piss off your paying customers, guess what? I know this might shock you. They're not going to give you any fucking money. It's a very basic fucking metric that you guys need to relearn, or you're not going to be around for much longer, because your whole industry is going to collapse into a pile of smoldering fucking rubble.
And Joe says, I'd watch Supergirl hook up with a chick. Well, literally nobody asked, dude. Like, this
off.
is a Wendy's. What are you talking about? Also, just like openly.
Really? Okay, so Joe Russo, if you'd watch Supergirl hook up with a chick, cool. Why aren't you saying, I'll dress up my wife, my hot blonde wife, in a Supergirl outfit and go have her make out with a chick? What happened to that? What happened to your super hot blonde wife that you can dress up as Supergirl?
Admitting puck behavior is just abysmal, but this guy's so Reddit coded, I guess he thinks because it's a woman it must be something really good and stunning and brave. But I want to end on this guy Steven giving a very negative review of the film, and it's kind of a long tweet here, but to sum it up, he was not impressed.
Okay, hang on. I went to this movie hyped and incredibly optimistic, but unfortunately, it just fell flat. I really tried to get invested, but the plot, the villain, and the pacing just couldn't reel me in. By the way, the plot is Crypto is poisoned, so at the beginning of the movie, so he's out of the movie, and her whole thing is, oh, she needs to get a cure for Crypto. That's literally it. They tried to turn her into John Wick. They literally tried to turn Supergirl into John Wick because Crypto got poisoned. And so she has to go find a cure from the bad guys. That's the plot. That is literally the fucking plot. The bright spots are definitely the performances. Millie Alcock does a fantastic job as Supergirl, X to fucking doubt. And the action scenes where she's kicking ass are awesome, X to doubt again. Jason Momoa is also great as Lobo, but he is massively underutilized. That's what I've heard. Jason Momoa as Lobo is in the movie for like 10, 15 minutes, and then he fucks off elsewhere. I did hear that from reviews that Jason Momoa did pretty good as Lobo. The movie completely misses a chance to showcase his cool powers. Instead of giving us more Lobo, we get stuck with a generic no-name brand main villain who lacks any real presence. The plot itself is incredibly frustrating and feels completely unneeded. The entire stakes rest on Crypto fighting for his life while needing an antidote that the villain is wearing around his neck. Supergirl has multiple opportunities to just grab it and blast off, but instead, the movie forces her to prolong the fight and save a random, powerless character that you can't just bring yourself to care about. Yeah, that's the plot. Crypto is poisoned, the bad guy has an antidote around his neck, and she's got to get the antidote. That's the entire fucking plot. Sounds fun, huh?
Pressed, right? Says the whole movie fell flat, but it's the image that made me want to include this. Look at this guy.
Wait. Hang on. Let's read the rest of it. Okay. So, Supergirl's multiple ways to grab it, prolong and fight, powerless characters can't care about because Supergirl easily packs up the villain and his cronies anyway, watching her choose not to just take the antidote as many. So Supergirl could have folded the bad guy at any point in time, but because the plot demands it, she didn't. Visually, the CGI is pretty rough. That's what I've heard. Feels incredibly pretty rough around the edge of the time, though it's easy to not to look past and bang. It's not. Fans should also know that Supergirl barely wears her iconic outfit until late in the film for like 10 minutes. She wears her outfit for like 10 minutes. Superman does make a few appearances in flashback. From what I've heard, Superman's appearances are in flashback, not in present time, which is a nice touch, but he rightly isn't the focus. That's fair enough. Ultimately, the writing feels incredibly off, and it didn't make complete sense when you realize James Gunn didn't write this one. Coming off Superman, this feels like a forced, forgettable bridge movie just meant to explain why Supergirl is working with her cousin Superman Man and Tomorrow. So again, consume product in anticipation for next product. This is what superhero movies are. Every fucking superhero movie is literally just get excited about. Watch this movie so you can get excited about the next one, and then watch the next one to get excited about the next one, and then watch the next one to get excited about the next one. It's literally like there's a bridge makes no sense if you have no landmass leading to it. And lately, every superhero movie has literally just been a bridge to the next bridge to the next bridge to the next bridge. If there's no landmass, what's the point?
Look at this guy. He's at the big revealing here with a swag bag from Warner Bros.
No superhero
was still not enough. I mean, good on this guy for not.
Any word, no Supergirl merch whatsoever. He was there to review it with a swag bag and not one scrap of Supergirl merch.
Not getting lulled into complacency because they're treating him well. Good for him. But they couldn't even sprinkle some sort of praise from people. Like they couldn't even buy praise from people reviewing this film. That's how bad it is. And like I said, this is just the critics' ratings. Just wait until the audience ratings come in. It's going to be abysmal. Unless, of course, the Supergirl Nation rises up.
And yes, the swag bag was that brown grocery paper bag with the Warner Brothers logo stamped on it. That was the swag bag. You know, they're losing so much money, they can't do proper swag bags anymore because they're fucking broke.
No idea, but that is the situation. The shills are still trying, and you know what? I mean, I commend them, I guess. Actually, I really don't. It's pretty pathetic. And also, it seems like if your name is Joe, you're, like, obligated to defend this film. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video.
It wasn't the popcorn bucket. Not the popcorn bucket. I think it was a drink cup that looked like a sex toy. That was a drink cup. That wasn't a popcorn bucket.
If you guys enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like. Consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads as well as multiple streams a week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's just DC is done. I do think James Gunn may be getting fired after this. I do think he's not sticking around anymore because everything he's put out has been a failure. Every single movie he's put out since joining the DCU has been an abject failure. So I do think he may be gone. I think after, he may no longer be a part of DC after this, after all is said and done. And for those of you that don't know what the drink cup looks like, that's the drink cup. That is the merch drink cup for Supergirl. Yeah. This is real. This is 100%
Not
real.
surprising given Gunn wants to make a Clayface movie. Not even a tier Batman villain.
It looks like Supergirl is wearing Clayface with this cup. Yeah, this is fucking real. These parts, you can open these up with your fingers. You can open up these little parts of the trench coat with your fingers. Yeah. This is real. This was their big marketing strategy for Supergirl. Yeah, trench coat, quote. This movie is bombing like fucking crazy, and I love to see it. I love to see it. When Hollywood tries to pull this bullshit, I'd love to see him fail like this.
Ember burns